This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to all entrepreneurs, from the person just starting up to the one that is already well established. My goal is to help you grow. I am your host, Isaiah O'Connor. So today I'm going to start off with my sponsor, Audible. It's audible.com, link in the description below. What is Audible? Audible is audiobooks. People read books, you get to listen to them. It's great if you're really busy. I've got the podcast, attempting to try to keep up on the blog. I've got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old boy stuck home because of coronavirus, and trying to run a balloon business, and plan for my comeback here coming up soon. And I picked up another job planting trees in the meantime to make ends meet until I can reopen my business. I've got a lot on my hands. I don't have a lot of time to sit and read. But you know I do have a lot of? Time driving in my car and time walking around and planting trees. I can listen to things. So that means I can listen to my books. So if you're really busy, don't have time to read, but you want to read and consume books, multimillionaires, multiple businessmen read a lot of books. It's very important to read. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person, read. It will help you succeed. So this is the easy way to go. Go check them out. 30-day free trial, $14.95 after a month afterwards. Quite honestly, if I had the choice between Audible and Netflix, I'd take Audible. Just me. And if you cancel the account, you keep your audiobooks, you get 30% off of all additional purchases. You can exchange your audiobooks if you don't like it. You can swap it for free. Great customer service. You can cancel it anytime. You're not locked in. They're really great. So go check them out. They're amazing. Audible.com. Okay, today I'm going to start talking about social media a little bit and being a content creator and what that means, and just a brief overview of the different ways you can be a content creator and why you would want to do it and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to do a quick little overview today. Now, we are at this point in day and age, we are all aware of social media content creators. Most content creators fall into video type creators, YouTube, TikTok, Periscope, what have you. Then you have bloggers and podcasters. Pretty much covers the main realm of content creators. And there's many variations of that. Now, if you're looking at content creating, it's pretty straightforward on most of these places on how to start doing it. If you're going to be a YouTuber, you need some sort of camera and recording device, and you can record yourself doing whatever and upload it to YouTube. Podcasting, a little bit more complicated. You can do it through a website like ours, Squarespace. It allows you to set up a podcast and what's called an RSS feed, and it's the main feed that when you upload a podcast, all the all the podcast sites, for example, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, they go back to your RSS feed and they pull your podcast and all the notes and information from that RSS feed, and that's how they update your podcast. So whatever platform you're listening to my podcast on right now, be it Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, iTunes, whatever, that's all from an RSS feed. It's a little bit more complicated to get set up, and unlike YouTube where everyone just goes pretty much straight to YouTube, with podcasting you have to go out and actually sign up for many different places. If you start a podcast, you have to go to Spotify and sign up for the program and get approval, or iHeartRadio, or whatever. So it's a bit more complicated. And then you have a blog, where you just sit down and you write. You can do a blog on multiple different places. If you want to get it monetized ASAP, you could open up a Patreon account and just write a blog on Patreon. You can do it with a free preview. You can do it members only. You can do a bunch of different ways to do it. Or you can go to WordPress, start a blog there. There's Blogger, also a place for free blogs. And each of these different mediums have different challenges, different audiences often, and different ways to put them together and different ways they're effective. Now, I've dabbled in all three. Now, with my YouTube channel, I primarily built it up as a way to help improve the SEO, search engine optimization, of my website. If you go back a few podcasts, you can find my link to me talking about that. So I've thrown up a couple of videos. One video went fairly viral, 37,000 views or something like that, pretty big. I was shocked and surprised pleasantly on that one. But again, like I said in the last episode, the flywheel, if you're not uploading on a regular basis, you're not going to get anywhere. Matter of fact, that's pretty much on all of the above. If you're not blogging, you're not going to get a lot of views. If you're not podcasting, you're not getting a lot of listeners. If you're not, blogs, you get readers, podcasts, you get listeners, and YouTube, you get viewers. 3 different sets of people, by and in large. Now, let's take a quick overview. I kind of did a quick overview of podcasting, but let's start with podcasting. Matter of fact, we'll start with YouTube. Why? Because that's the first place I tried. Actually, it's the second place, but it's the first real place I really went. So YouTube is pretty much the easiest way to become a content creator. All you need is a smartphone. That's it. Now, granted that it helps to do more than just a smartphone, but it doesn't matter. Quite honestly, content is king, and the more content you put up, the more your content will pop up in search results, the more the algorithm will be happy, and the happier the algorithm is, the happier you will be. And even if your production value is not great, even if it's just phone videos and that's it, you can build up an audience. Because crazy as it seems, even if it's only 1 in a million, there are people out there that will watch and like what you do. And by the way, 1 in a million, just looked it up, with 7.594 billion people on the earth, approximately, 1 in a million is 7,594 people. So even if only 1 in a million like your content, you're going to get about 7,000 views. So, yeah, that's still not a huge amount in the realm of the web, but even if it's only 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 100, there's a lot of people that will be wanting to listen to or watch what you have to offer and share. You'll find people that want to view your stuff. Just look up some random videos on YouTube. You will find quite the rabbit hole of random videos. People making toast. People playing with toys. Matter of fact, that's a huge market on YouTube. I see people that are just doing unboxing videos on toys, and they're playing with toys. Usually with their faces off screen, they're just using their hands, and they're getting like Paw Patrol figures and doing whole Paw Patrol scenarios, and they're playing with the toys. And they're doing all the voices. And kids, my boys, I put those videos on, I could leave the house for a week and come back and they'll still be watching it. It's insane. Playing with toys. And these guys have millions of views playing with toys. So just be out there pushing that flywheel, making the content. And it's pretty straightforward. You make the video, you upload the video. I'll probably do a more detailed jump into each of these social media sites, types, and what you need to do to best produce it. But this is just the intro, of course. Anyway, sorry, this last few podcasts are at the end of a very long week, and I get a little loopy. So, hope you guys don't mind. I just try to be very real in these podcasts. So, that's YouTube. You can just get a phone, shoot a video, and upload it. Straight up. No editing required. Now, you can get different video editors software. Some are better than others. I've just got the paid version of the Windows Video Maker. It's not the best one on the market. You can't do a lot, but you can make a decent YouTube video. You can add some title screens, add some fades, wipes. You can kind of delete bad spots in the recording. You can cut whatever. You can do that pretty straightforward. And you can do that fairly cheaply. I think it cost me, $25, $50? You don't have to sink a lot of money into it. Now, as you get better at it, any of these things, as you get better at it and more experienced and you start making some money, you can start buying better equipment, like an actual camera for YouTube, an actual good mic, etc. Matter of fact, one guy I watch, he started off with a GoPro camera and he just started uploading stuff and people liked it, and he just happened to get a video of a squirrel doing something funny with a squirrel feeder or something, and it went viral. And those views multiplied on and on and on, and he's a lawyer, turned YouTuber. He started talking about legal stuff and people liked that. And now he's a full-time YouTuber, making his income off of YouTube and not being a lawyer anymore. And it all started with a GoPro camera and just uploading random videos. So YouTube's pretty easy to get into. Now, I will be talking about how you make money from all these platforms later, but not today. That's for another episode. Anyway, you Alton Brown fans out there will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so that's YouTube. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. However, one thing about YouTube is you will probably want to look at least somewhat decent, depending on your target. If you're a gamer, you probably want to be looking like a gamer. If you're dressed in a suit and a tie and you're gaming and you're talking in very big legal words and you're looking very professional, you probably won't reach the gamer market. Just saying. You might, if you're good, if whatever, but gamers have a certain look and feel about them. Being clean and nice is helpful. But one of my favorite YouTubers is a guy named Lindy Beige. He gets on YouTube, and for the most part, he doesn't edit very much. He usually tries to do it always in one take. He only adds in a few things here and there, and he very, very rarely edits when something really bad happens. He's a nice guy, but you look at him, and his hair looks, like it hasn't seen him comb in quite a few years. He's got a big, shaggy beard. He just wears the same kind of brown sweater. And he's fascinating to watch. He tells a good story. He's a great entertainer. So looks aren't everything, but there are looks. You have to think about what's in your background. You don't want to put up a YouTube video and realize that you left underwear in the background of your couch or something like that. You don't want that type of thing. You want to be, thoughtful about it. And video, the thing about YouTube is you can't always just shoot videos anywhere or any time. You need to get things kind of prepared. You kind of have a plan. Not always, but just depending on the type of content you do. Again, it's such a wide thing, but you got to think about these things. Am I recording somewhere where people will be angry if they show up on YouTube? That's another thing. Whenever you're doing a video or using your camera for anything, you have to be very careful about the people in the background, the situation you're in. If there's children in the shot, that's a huge thing you have to be very careful of. All these things, yeah, just there's a lot of stuff to think about with that. And again, I'll do more of a dive into YouTube, but this is just a quick introduction. But the point being is, with YouTube, you have to be kind of more aware of what's going on around you because you have a camera and it catches everything. Oh, and one more side note on YouTube, you gotta be careful if you have things on camera and someone plays a song in the background. YouTube might hit you with a copyright strike because somebody's playing a copyrighted song in the background on your video. It's happened more than once. So, just a quick couple tips on YouTube. Now, the next most difficult, it depends. The next thing you can do is a podcast like you're listening to now. Now, I've listened to some podcasts with incredible production values. A huge company that produces multiple podcasts. They have great intro music, great editing, very professional speakers. They know what they're saying. It's very well scripted. It's very well done. And that's great. I've had podcasts that are just pretty much people interviewing other people for business, for example. I have other podcasts of people preaching or teaching lessons, and with all these come with varying degree of production value. The bigger the name, the bigger the podcast, the better the production. Other people, they just have a few mics, sit around and talk. But you don't even need that much. All you need is a way to record and a way to upload. And I record on my computer, and I know that it's not the best audio quality. When I get the money, I'm going to get a better mic. But this is a bootstrap podcast, folks. If you notice, all these places are ways you can just get started without having to spend a lot of money, that you can build up and get better. And that's what the beauty of all these things are. These are custom made for bootstrappers. You don't need a lot of money to get started. You don't need a lot of money to start a podcast. You don't need money to start a YouTube channel. You don't need a lot of money to start a blog. Some people, oh, you do. You need a lot of money. No, you don't. You don't need any money at all, really, to start this. You just have to have some equipment that you probably already have. A camera, a computer. And if you already own a camera and or a computer, a camera or a phone and a computer, you can do all the above, and it's not going to cost you anything extra than you already have. And worst comes to worst, you can get something, go to the library, buy a computer, pick up a little voice recorder off of eBay for $25 or whatever. You don't need anything fancy. You just need to get going and build it up. You build up. It's bootstrapping. Hey, it's a bootstrap podcast. You make some money, you get a little bit better equipment, which makes things better, which gets you more audience, which gets you better equipment. You build it up. It's bootstrapping, step by step. So anyway, got sidetracked on it. So podcast, like I said before, you set up a podcast. The advantages are you can do it in your pajamas. You can do it dressed up. It doesn't matter. No one's going to see you. So that's an advantage. However, you do have the disadvantage of phone calls coming in. A couple weeks ago, I was working, and my landlord decided to start up with a hammer drill outside the window, right in the middle of podcasting. Me! So, podcasting, you need a quiet room, a quiet place. My business partner, Jason, who runs the Atheoz business podcast and a few other podcasts, he often podcasts holding his phone at night, speaking with his pillow quietly so that he doesn't wake up his wife and kid, and he gets a clear sound because it's not echoing. So it doesn't take much. The thing is with podcasts, again, there's that background noise. You have to register a lot of places. It's not a one-stop shop. You don't just go to YouTube, set up a video thing, and you're good. Set up an account. You have to set up a lot of stuff. It's a little bit more involved. Now, With podcasting, though, like video, you can get audio editors. In matter of fact, I use Audacity. It's an absolutely 100% open source free media audio program. You can cut and paste, delete sections, add effects, add music, and all this other stuff, and add production value as you get better at it. And I'm going to be. I'm going to be trying to add maybe a little bit intro music and other stuff. I'm going to try to get better. Always try to get better. But you can get very simple software that's easy to learn to edit your audio. I mean, once you kind of get the idea of how this feels, you copy, you paste, you can select, you can delete. It's just like using any other program. It's very straightforward, but it's just audio and you can see waveforms. It's pretty straightforward. Really cool. Then you have blogging. Now, when you blog, again, you can just go simply set up a blog for free on WordPress, on Blogger, on Patreon. You don't have to pay to set up a blog. You can just set up a blog and you just write and you post. Now, some things about that. People tend not to read longer blogs. You want to keep them a little bit shorter. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Again, that whole 1 in a million, 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 people will read it. Just have to get to the eyeballs. Then when you're blogging, I've learned a few things like it really helps when someone's blogging to break it up, the words, with photos and quotes and charts and graphs and anything else you can do to break up the raw, just plain text. When people are staring at a screen, if it's just straight text, black and white, they're not going to read through it very often unless it's really, really engaging. For example, I have stared at just black letters on a white screen for hours because, well, I was reading Lord of the Rings. It's a little different. But for a blog, you can have just straight text all the way through, but it helps to just break it up a little bit. Learn how to edit the blog just enough to maybe throw in a quote in big, bold letters. Throw in a little picture. Throw in a theme. Matter of fact, if you go to my podcast website page, not through whatever you're listening to, but if you go to my actual website, which is www.atheoz.com/IOC pod, that's atheoz.com/IOC, as in the International Olympic Committee, as my friend Jason always calls me, and POD for podcast. You go there. Of course, there's a link in the description, of course. You go to the podcast and you see it's the same layout as my blog post. I got a nice picture that kind of sets the theme. I've got a little blip about what this podcast is about. And some more information on the bottom. And I use that same thing. You can go to the blog and look at that too. And I've learned the first blogs were just all raw text. The next couple of blogs, I kind of learned how to add a little bit of highlighting, a little bit of bold, whatever. But you learn, you grow. But you put in a little text, a little photos, a little quotes, all these things to make it more engaging and eye-catching. And then I've also just noticed some other people do it, and I've done it, is I found a program. It gives an approximate reading time for what you write, and people will tend to read it more often if they see, oh, this is a 5-minute read. I can do that. Oh, this is 10 minutes. Oh, this is a 30-minute. Oh, this is an hour read. Maybe I'll wait and when I have time. So just little details like this. Again, I almost did the whole blog part already. There's not a lot to it, I guess. But where you host a blog, you can. Now, blogs are easier because you can write. You don't have to have a quiet room. You don't have to worry about who's in the video or in the picture. You can write whenever, wherever you want. The problem is, I find that of the three, podcasting is easiest to keep a good steady pace with, because it's easier for me to sit down and just talk and record a little bit than go back and type, and then go look and read and type. Now, I like both. I like all three. But the easiest is the podcast, because you can just, I have a template set up in this program, record and save. It goes really quick. And because I've decided to go with more free-flowing podcast where I say my thoughts on something. I'm not trying to follow too much of a plan or pre-do. I did at first, but I open it up. It's easier to free flow on a podcast than a blog. Now, often what I'll do with a blog, the thing is you often need to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drafts. Then I highly suggest that you run it through some sort of spelling and grammar check a couple of times, just to be sure, because people will notice it. And if you want to look professional, it's good that you don't have a lot of spelling errors. Like, you don't want to accidentally write he instead of the, because you missed a T or something. Yeah, it looks bad. So there's some of the pros and cons of a blog. And one thing to remember, all the above you can set up so you can do a whole bunch at once and release them over time. I'll talk more about that later. Anyway, I've been rambling on and on and on about this a little bit too much, but that's just the basics of setting up a blog, a podcast, or a YouTube channel. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward, don't cost a lot of money, and they all have the potential to earn money. And if it's business and you want to earn money from it, because you don't have to. A lot of people do it just for fun. They blog because they want to. The first blog I started a while ago was a Christian blog on Christian issues. I did like 3 blogs and just stopped because I just kind of didn't keep up with it. And it was just for fun. I wasn't trying to run a business. That's fine. If you want to do any of these things and earn money, great. You have the potential to earn decent money, a little money, or a lot of money. Matter of fact, how about this? Next podcast, Monday, I will be talking about how to monetize your content. Anyway, you have a great day. Please do check out our sponsors. Please go ahead and reach out to me on my Facebook page, on the website. Send me an email. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want help with the blog. I do a free half-hour consultation. I can get you pointed in the right direction. I can get you started. You have a great day. Bye-bye. Okay, just as a reminder, we do offer a free 1/2 hour, no obligation consultation. All you need to do is go to our website and contact us through there, or you can contact me directly at my O'Connor Bootstrap podcast Facebook group or our Atheoz.com Facebook page as well. And if you would like to support this channel, the best thing you can do, of course, is to like and share and subscribe. That helps the most. Or you can check out one of our affiliate links. And of course, I do have a PayPal and a Patreon account, and the links will be in the description below. Thank you very much. You all have a good day. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast and Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For other podcasts, past episodes, and related blogs, please check out our website at www.atheoz.com. That is www.atheoz.com or theoz.com. Until next time, I've been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.